Hello everyone, you join me here on the warm-up session of Tri-C Round 1 2023. So, it is right now a damp and wet track. It had been raining all week, so right now what I am showing is absolute wet weather dominance through there. It is absolutely spectacular. Getting some understeer, but managing it spectacularly. So, basically what's going on right now, as you see me crack my visor, it's a bit wet, it's a bit damp. We're just trying to assess some of the conditions here. We want to basically get a base setup, assess what the track feels like, where the grip is, where the grip isn't, and kind of make those changes on the go-kart so we're all ready for qualifying. As you see me there, getting a bit squirrely into that braking zone right there. You want to make sure you don't spin out and get into that hole. That would be not ideal, especially because that would mean that you have crashed. Yes, as you see me here making another showing of wet weather dominance right there. It is absolutely spectacular stuff. The guy on the screen there, he's just, I don't know, absolutely spectacular stuff from him. So, you see here, getting that little squirrely again through the braking zone right there, but other than that, really just, like I said, assessing what can we do, what should we do in terms of setup, right? What can we do in terms of racing line? Because kind of when it's like this, sometimes on that rubber line, on those curbs, sometimes there's grip, sometimes there isn't grip, and it's all dependent on how dry the track really is. So right now, just getting set up for qualifying, we took what we learned, we made some setup changes, and this qualifying is going to be a bit different from the videos you've seen before. Tri-C runs it a bit differently. As you see me getting very, very aggressive with the tire warm-up. Track is a bit damp, still in some areas. Some parts of the line are a bit dry, but I want to make sure we get a great exit out of here. And the reason for that is this kind of qualifying is green-white checkered. So right now, this is my first flying lap, and after that, I'm going to get one more. So the idea, at least what I try to do, is get a good solid lap through here. You don't want to be pushing the limit, maybe be on like 98%. 98% of the pace, because you want to get a good lap in, you want to have a good base, right, so then you can push the limit a bit further on your second lap, right, where the tire's going to be even warmer, but at the same time, we want to take in all this information right now about every single turn, and then use that to predict the grip that we're going to have on the next qualifying lap here. So just trying to make sure I get a really good exit here. This section through here is very, very important to get right, because if not, you're going to lose time through this whole section right through here. So I'm going to get on the brakes, get a bit sideways through there, still able to carry a decent amount of speed, get right at the limit through there. As you can see the white flag waving right through there, so I'm going to tuck in a little bit, kind of forgot to do that, but that's alright. We're going to spot our braking zone through here right there, turn in. You can see the car is just a bit more reactive through there. It's a bit more on the nose, there's not as much understeer, so that's a good sign. We know the tires are a bit warmer, so we're going to go and take that knowledge and maybe not absolutely miss this apex, as we see here, doing a much better job. And we're going to get into this tricky bus stop section, take a little bit of curb through there. Missing that one, I could have probably taken it a bit more to the left there, but just really focusing on this exit here, tucking in. And as you can see, I remember to tuck in right now, so you want to make sure you remember to tuck in, because it's just those hundredths of a second that you want to gain, reducing, and you can see right there, just right basically at the limit. Basically on the limit right there. But as I was saying, you want to tuck in, you want to make yourself as small as possible and just gain those tenths, right? So go into this pre-main, that lap was good for P3, so I'm pretty proud of that, honestly. If you would have told me that last season, so I was racing Tri-C last season, and I mean, I was kind of like mid-pack, kind of just fighting to get into the top 10, so I've been working a lot through that off season, other races and stuff like that, really just working on my pace. So with that, honestly, very happy with that. So we're going to see what we can do here into the pre-main, and we got 12 laps. We're into the punch zone, and we're going to just kind of get tucked in. So second place, very interestingly, doesn't cover off the inside, so it gives me the opportunity to just come right up on the inside of him. He's still a little bit alongside, but I used my spectacular awareness to know that I can track it all the way out. So an amazing start. Still got to work on that, I guess the reflexes, right, to get right up on that punch zone and make sure that I start exactly when the guys in front of me start, or when I start at the most optimal point in the lap. You want to make sure you're not losing out in that first 10, 20 meters, right? So just gonna get settled in, assess where he's faster than me. So this is the first time in the day that the leader, I can see exactly where he's gaining on me, and I can see where exactly I'm gaining on him. So this is really, really good gathering information, trying to check back, make sure no one's gonna come up on the side of me. But yeah, just get settled and just go on with the race. 12 laps, you wanna make sure you're not getting anything too crazy. As you see him taking a much wider apex through there, it gives me the opportunity to get up on inside of him. But so yeah, just maybe not gonna make for the move there. Really, we wanna work together a little bit, but yeah. And probably one thing you might have noticed is that this track is a little different from the other track we've seen. And the reason for that is because it is. Yeah. I would say that you are very observant. So this is Apex. The other track that we've been at is Adams Motorsports Park. And the reason for that is back in the day, last season, Cal Speed was the venue for all the Tri-C racing. And basically what happened to Cal Speed is it closed down because some guy was like, let's just put industrial business buildings there. So not an ideal situation for us, probably an ideal situation for the person who owns the land. They're probably making more money, but you know what, screw you, and whatever. But getting back into the race before I start ranting on about that, we can see here, just trying to make sure I get a good exit through there, just tucking in. We can see a back marker towards the end of the track there. We're going to probably catch him within a lap, 2-3 laps. So just kind of keeping that in the back of our head, making sure that we don't lose out to that as well, right? But just right now, going to focus on what's in front of us and what's behind us. So we're going to see if we can make a move through here. Just going to try and beat him into that braking zone. He actually gets me to the braking zone, but I take that tighter apex. I'm able to get him hopefully up on the inside here, and I'm able to track almost all the way out and beat him into this right here. The moment you beat him to there, you just want to make sure he's not going to get you into this hairpin right here. But I check back and I see that I have plenty of space, plenty of room to work with, and we still got a lot of time to go. We still got half a race to go. You can see I got a bit squirrely through there. That's more just because of the differences in the braking zones. He actually ran into the back of me, but I was able to just manage it well and just hang on. So tucking in once again, we see the back marker. We're going to see if maybe we can use him to pick up some of the slipstream and pick up some speed and pick up some time on the guy behind us, right? So, I mean, if I don't have anybody in front of me, all I'm doing is giving the person behind me a tow. And oh my, as you can see, the absolute obscenity of that racing number there. I apologize for that, but yeah, make it through just fine. I check back. And I want to make sure that maybe I was able to gain some time on him, but kind of coming into lap number 8, we can still see that section of the track, it must have been water seeping from under the ground, but it's still wet through there. I mean, for the most part, every bit from the track is pretty dry, but you can see me kind of going defensive there. He's almost alongside me through there, but we're able to hold it into this bus stop section, these S's and this double right-hander, and just try to get a good exit through there. We really want to just tuck in. He's right on top of me, so I'm trying to go a bit defensive. Maybe I can hold him off and see if it works, but at the same time, this is going to compromise my exit through there, right? So just tucking in again. I'm seeing him kind of come right up on the right side of me there, and I'm really just trying to drag race him down there, but he's got the advantage, and he's got the inside, so it's just not going to work out. I get sideways, kind of run into the back of him. Maybe what I could have done is kind of gone more to the right, but I think out of that last turn on the exit, we were both just sideways, so really no opportunity there to kind of close him off. He really picked me through there. But yeah, we got about 4 laps to go, I think. Yes, 3. Oh, it says it right there on the top left. Never mind. So you can see here another difference in the line there. We're going to tuck in. We're going to see if maybe we can kind of stick with him. We don't want to lose. We want to gain that position back, right? So we see another back marker. We're going to maybe hope that they can play into our favor a little bit. I get a better exit through that kind of section there. I kind of gain some time on him. We're going to see if we can maybe go have a look, but it's just not going to happen through there. Track it all the way up, but as soon as possible, just cut back in. And thankfully, this back marker lets off and lets me take that right-hander as I should, right? Because if not, I would have lost just a ton of time. So into this back straight. We have this back straight and 1 more lap to go. We're going to see if maybe we can gain on him on the exit. Really, it's important to get a good exit through here. We can see if maybe we can make up some time, but really just kind of even through there, really. But can see the white flag is waving, and I have third place right on top of me. So he's going to go defensive a little bit, and I'm going to try and get this apex through here. You can see me gain a ton of time as I have been throughout the race, but we're going to maybe see if we can line ourselves up for a move with the hairpin. We just got to get this right, and we just get sideways, and it basically takes the opportunity away from us. But at the end of the day, just kind of stay sideways. It's going to stay a little bit on the inside. We want to hold off the guy behind us. You can see he's right alongside me. That's why I kind of take way more curb on the right. It's because third place was right up on the left of me. So right now, completely forgetting about first place in front of us, but instead we're going to try and cover off losing our second place position, right? So he doesn't have enough space. I check back. He's not going to make that move up inside me, but right now he's getting a very good exit through there. I kind of compromised myself a little bit, but able to hold off into that second place position. And actually you can see here how close it really was. So you can see by time to P1, it's just 6/100ths of a second there. So very, very close. Almost got picked off by third place through there. So going into this main right now, talking to Casey, talking about strategy, and right now we're kind of just focusing on that race start, right? So you might have noticed in the race before, I was able to pick off second place because he kind of left that door open and giving me the advantage, especially with people bump drafting me. I'm going to be able to get up on the inside and just hold that line down. So right now I'm just going to focus on warming up the tires. You can see first place all the way out front. I actually didn't even notice that, but I guess in a way it's going to play into my advantage a little bit. His tires going to be cooling down while I'm still warming them up. So maybe just a small tiny advantage, maybe not too much really, because at the end of the day the tires still aren't fully up to temperature anyways. So it's a short lap, you know. But we're going to see what we can do here. Made a few setup changes, kind of tire pressure and stuff related, because this is going to be a longer race. It's going to be 20 laps instead of 12. So we're going to see what we can do. See if we can get a good start. We see that box zone right there by the cones. We're going to try and get right there on the gas just before the cones. He went even earlier actually. But we're going to check. We make sure nobody's up on the inside. Actually, there is, but I'm able to kind of hold and keep that momentum up. So I'm able to beat him into this right here. So kind of just solidifying my second place. So right now, I just got to get a clean exit through these S's here and make sure he doesn't pick me off into the hairpin. But everything seems to be all right through here. I mean, typically what you'll see is no one's going to be making crazy dive bombs on you or anything like that. If you don't see anybody coming up on the inside of you in that braking zone, you don't really need to defend, because no one's going to be making these crazy moves. You know, it's a very long race. We kind of want to work together and push each other along with the toe from the guy in front of you, but also the guy behind you is going to pick up that toe and bump draft you even further. So you want to go ahead and work together and try to pull away from the pack, right? Because you know later on you're going to start fighting for position, and the last thing you want to do is give the opportunity for everybody else to catch up onto you when you start fighting for position and start losing some speed. So into lap number 3, still kind of getting a bit settled, and kind of want to talk about this track here. It's actually a very, very fun track. It's a bit different from Cal Speed. Cal Speed was really just asphalt runoff. So you can see here, actually, I get a really good exit there. He doesn't do a good job through there. We're gonna see if maybe we can make a move, but I kind of, like I said, it's lap number 3. We're gonna just bump draft him along. It's not worth making that risky move, but you see me now just checking behind, making sure that no one's gonna make the move up inside of me actually, but everything is all good. We're gonna get into this braking zone and just hold our line through there. But as I was saying, Cal Speed was mainly just asphalt runoff, which was nice for the go-kart because you'd never get off into the rocks or the grass or off a curb or scratch the bottom of the chassis. But this right here, as I stick my nose and try to make a move, but it's just not going to work, I think he probably noticed it and he kind of went a little wide into the apex, but, you know, maybe just kind of throwing me off a little bit. But other than that, it's all good. But yeah, so this really requires you to just be playing with the limit at all times, right? Especially when the lap times are so competitive and everybody's racing so close. It can really just come down to, like, who's going to make that mistake first? Who's going to take that apex a little too late? Who's going to take it a little too early? We're going to see if maybe we can make a move up here, but we both hit rev limiter. It's just too late to make a move there. If you want to, like, pass someone, you want to make sure you're doing it while you're still accelerating. The moment we both hit rev limiter, it's just not going to happen. So kind of tucking in again. Lap number 5, still plenty of time. You know, we want to be patient, not get too crazy with it. And you can see here, just maybe taking a very similar lines through there. We take just as much curb into this section here. He kind of misses that apex actually, but really what's important is getting that second double right-hander apex in and just kind of tucking in and getting some of that nice slipstream. So coming into lap number 6, still just kind of settling in here. We're going to see if, as you can see actually, there's a point where we kind of equalize in terms of the distance between each other. That's when we're both hitting rev limiter actually. And what's actually interesting that I noticed is even with me being in front of him and showing the line that I take through turn 1, he's deciding to take his own line. So either for reasons of just not kind of wanting to risk that curb or anything like that, not really sure, but it's kind of interesting seeing him just stick with his line actually, instead of kind of taking my line. So you can see him go super wide through there. This is going to give us the opportunity to maybe get up on the inside of him. It's going to be very close, but right here, you see a bit of that acceleration. That was actually third place, kind of bumping me along through there and solidifying my pass. So honestly, that was working out spectacular for me. A nice little gift from the guy behind. So we're going to come in here, lap number 7, still plenty of time to go, getting right up on the limit there. And actually, one thing I want to point out, that rear end is a bit wider on the go-kart than it is on the front. So if you see that front tire on that limit there, that rear end is just right up above it as well. So just maybe one thing for you to keep note of, right, as you see this on this angle. And I guess let's talk about the angle now, right? So the reason we're seeing this now here, I'm actually using, it's an Odenthal product, right? So they make GoPro mounts specifically for go-karts, and honestly, like, I'm very happy with it. The ones I had used in the past, they either snapped on me or they vibrate too much, and it just didn't work out well. I kind of like this because I can see where I'm braking, I can see where I'm on the gas, and I can see my inputs as well. So it's a very nice little angle to use, right? I mean, really the only benefit of having it on your helmet is kind of getting that POV, seeing where your movements are, seeing maybe when I turn my head, where am I looking? But at this point, as you see me going a bit defensive through there, that's actually maybe just a mistake on my end, because at this point of the race, I didn't really have anybody like threatening to come up on the inside of me. So really, I kind of gave them the opportunity to gain time on me. So right now, it's all about just trying not to get overtaken, because I knew I just compromised myself, but they're going to do the same thing I did to them. So now it's going to be a bit of a drag race all the way up into turn 1. We're going to see what we can do here. I'm kind of beating him a little bit, but let's see if we can maybe get him on the brakes. But as we've seen before, he's actually later on the brakes than I am, so it's just not going to work out. Maybe I can get this advantage through here, but then it turns into the inside for him. So he's able to pick me off through there, honestly, with a pretty hairy move through there. Honestly, that was like some pretty close. Oh my god, I forgot about that one actually. Yeah, I lost 2 positions in 1 lap. We'll get back to what I was talking about in a sec, but yeah, this also actually just kind of stemmed through, as you see him saying, let's work together, let's bump draft, keep up with the first place. But this, if you remember, stemmed from me going defensive when I really shouldn't have. Because what happened was they gained that time on me through that infield, and coming out of that exit from the double right-hander, they're close enough to get that slipstream and pass me into that final turn. So as I was saying, it's about not making those mistakes, not having those little moments where they can get this 1/10 on you, and that 1/10, two turns down, can turn into 2 positions, as you see here. So really, we're going to try and, as you see him, second place now, number 18, kind of getting all like shaken up on that hairpin there. So losing some time, kind of bump him through there. I'm not going to try to make a move into that bus stop SS section. So going to just try to tuck in here, see if we can maybe get some ground back from what we've lost. And I get super wide and drop a wheel. Let's get this in slow-mo, see what happened. You can see me, the back end kicks out, but at the same time I just took a bad line through there and into the styrofoam barrier. Not ideal. So again, talking about not making mistakes, you don't want to do that, you know. So at this point I had lost another 2 positions, so I went down from 4th and 5th from that impact, right? I mean, you lose a ton of momentum when you go into a barrier like that. At that point, I mean, I didn't feel anything, but you know, all the adrenaline, right? But my arm was a little numb. Thankfully, everything was all right. And also checking the cart right now, checking the axle, making sure that everything is good. Nothing has been bent, but uh, yeah, I mean, really, it's kind of crazy how everything can kind of just turn on you. You saw just in 2 laps, leading the race to going into a barrier and coming down to fifth. And the moment I got down to fifth, it was just so hard to keep back up with them because you lose some of that slipstream and you lose that toe and that bump draft. So really, you're just kind of hanging out there, just hoping for someone to make a mistake. And they actually had an amazing battle. I mean, I was just kind of watching, right? I mean, I guess I had the best seat in the house to watch them all battle it out, but you know, gonna take some lessons for that and just learn and yeah. And here are some cool icons that you can check out on below.